Good day, class. We come now to our next chapter in general mathematics. We have rational function. Diba? If we're gonna have a recap about our previous discussions, we had our introduction to functions. We have the piecewise function, how we represent function in real life situation, and we also conducted the 5 operations of function. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and yung special operation po na meron tayo, composition of function. So right now, in our next chapter class, we're gonna talk about rational function. Diba? So, simple description na meron sa rational. Example niya po, na familiar kayo, is a fraction. Si fraction, rational siya. Kasi po, when we say rational, it has a numerator and it also has a denominator. So as for the definition of our function here, rational function is one type of function. So as for the definition class, any function has the form of f of x is equal to p of x over q of x is a rational function. Again, we have this particular notation. Ito po yung standard notation or standard form na meron po si rational function. We have function of x or f of x is equal to p of x over q of x. So basically, klase na po dun sa numerator natin, di ba? P of x is our numerator, habang si q of x po is our denominator. Sabi daw po dyan, both our numerators and denominators can be an expressions. When we say expression class, it can be a polynomial, it can be a certain value, diba? It can be an expression. But we're gonna consider a particular condition or may restriction po tayo. Bakit? Sabi pagdating on our second statement, P of x and q of x can be expressions or values on their own. But our denominator, which is the q of x, should not be equal to 0. Sabi daw po dyan, dapat po yung value, yung value po na magkakaroon tayo kay denominator or the q of x, dapat daw po hindi siya mag-equal kay 0. Bakit po? Kasi po in mathematics class, kapag kayong denominator po natin mag-equal siya kay 0, and if we're gonna conduct the operation, or if we're gonna simplify the function, that will make the function undefined. So yun po yung restriction. Dapat palagi si q of x hindi po siya mag-equal or hindi po siya magkaroon na value ng 0. Kasi po yun po yung magiging resulta, magiging undefined po yung function na meron po tayo along with our example. Plus, having this particular form or standard form na meron sa rational function, how do we represent, makinig ha, how do we represent a particular rational function considering a real-life situation or real-life scenario? So, let us consider this particular problem. There is a cake sale in your school. One baker sells his cake at 200 pesos for the first piece you buy and 180 pesos for the next pieces of cake na bibilihin mo. If you bought 5 pieces of cake, how much did you pay per piece? Diba? From our previous discussion, yung pinakaunang lesson po natin about representing function in real life, diba? I have presented to you many steps for us to be able to get its mathematical model or mathematical equation or function, diba? So this time around, let us apply the particular, those steps po. Let us apply those steps on our problem. So, diba, first step po dun is that we're gonna consider a situation. Ito na po yung situation natin. May cake sale sa school nyo, and then one particular seller po is nagbigay ng promo. Yun yung condition na nagbigay siya ng promo wherein parang bili ka daw ng isang cake, yung presyo is 200 pesos. And then, pag nagbili ka pa daw ng more than one, ng more than one, or kung ilan pang number of piece ang gusto mo, may 180 pesos na lang po yung presyo niya. Given na yung unang cake na binibili mo or bibilihin mo is amounting to 200 pesos. Ngayon, natanong mo dyan, if nagbili daw po tayo, di ba, meron na po tayong value for the domain. Kasi may value na po tayo for, mention ko na po si domain na, ang tinatanong ko dyan is that if you bought 5 pieces of cake, ilan daw po ba yung magiging presyo ng kabuuan? Or yung per piece po ng cake? Ngayon, it will be our step. Number 1, consider the situation. Step number 2 is, di ba, we're gonna identify si independent variable or si domain. Di ba? Si independent variable po dito is sino? Si number of piece. Independent variable po natin dito, class, is si number of piraso or piece. Kaya pagkasabi ko sa inyo po, meron na po tayong value for the domain here. Kasi po nagbigay na po yung problem ng 5 pieces. Pag nagbili ka ng 5 pieces, ilan daw po yung babayaran mo sa kada piraso po ng cake. Ngayon, dependent variable din, class, is that, di ba how much? We're talking about how much. So, yun yung hinahanap natin, di ba? Sabi ko ba sa inyo, when we are about to talk about function, talking about function, class, palaging po si dependent variable yung hinahanap natin. So here, ang dependent variable po natin is yung value na nakukuha natin or yung amount ng pera na masasolve po natin. But take note ha, we're not going to solve, class. We're not going to solve. We're just going to identify the rational model or the rational function here. Yung representation po ng situation na to. So again, going back, dependent variable po dito is yung hinahanap. Since we are talking about how much, you need to say, ang nawawala po dyan is yung amount of money. Ngayon, by identifying the independent variable and the dependent variable, we can then now identify or create a rational function or rational model out from our problem. But take note, di ba? If we're gonna look at the problem again, may condition. Ngayon, kapag ang particular function mga class may condition, palagi po tayong mag-fall pay piecewise. Diba? Kasi sabi ko baga sa Indo, talking about the piecewise function po, we are actually following a particular condition. And yung problem natin may condition siya. So, next step here would be, we're going first to identify its piecewise function or yung function po na may condition, di ba? That's piecewise. So if we're gonna consider the problem, piecewise function here is that f of x is equal to 200 daw po, makinig ha, 200 daw po yung presyo or amount ng pera kapag yung domain natin is equal to 1. Di ba? Nakalagay ba sa problem? 200 pesos yung babayaran mo kapag bumili ka ng isang piraso ng cake. And you're gonna pay 180 pesos kapag nagbili ka na po ng more than 1. Di ba? This is a piecewise function. And that will be our condition from the problem. Ngayon, class, since we already have the piecewise function, considering this particular condition, makakapag-create na po tayo ng rational model or rational function. This would be now, di ba, ang hinahanap dyan is yung total. Di ba, ito yung range natin or dependent variable. Di ba, si f of x po, sabi ko ba sa inyo, si y din po siya. So, siya po yung dependent variable. Ito po si domain. Diba? Ngayon, ito yung hinahanap, yung value. So, if we're gonna have here f of x is equal to, 200 pesos plus, ito po yung presyo ng unang cake na binili mo. ito po yung presyo ng unang cake na binili mo. Opo, ngayon, we're gonna add here 180 pesos multiply to x minus 1 over x. Sino nga po sa x din? Ang si domain natin, yung number of piece. Ngayon class, bakit po ma'am Tash naging ganito po yung expression po natin? Kasi diba, 200 pesos, ito po yung representation ni unang cake na binili mo. Kasi diba, kada unang bili mo ng cake, ang amount niya po is 200 pesos. Plus, 180 kapag nagbili ka ng more than 1. Multiply. Multiply mo siya. Bakit po meron tayong x minus 1 dito? Sino ba si 1? Bakit po tayo subtract ng 1? Eh si 1 po, baga, ito na po yung presyo niya. Yung unang bili mo ng cake. So we're gonna subtract it, opo, dun sa remaining piece na bibilihin po natin. All over, kung ilan po lahat ng piece of cake na binili mo. Kasali na, of course, yung unang cake na binili mo. Ngayon, ito po yung rational model na or rational function na meron na po tayo along with our problem. Ngayon, para mas maintindihan po natin class ha, di ba? We are about to look at the value of the money or yung kabuuan ng pera na babayaran mo per piece. Di ba? So if we're gonna continue the computation, since nabanggit naman na sa problem, makinig ha, nabanggit naman na sa problem na meron po tayong value for the domain. So, let us continue the computation para mas maintindihan po natin. Hanapin natin kung ilan ba yung amount ng pera na babayaran natin each of the piece of cake. To continue our computation, dito na lang po tayo sa area na to para mas okay po dyan sa view natin. We're gonna have f of x is equal to 200 plus 180 multiply to x minus 1 over x. Since the entity po sa problem na meron na po tayong value for the domain, di ba? We're gonna have 200 plus 180 times 5 minus 1 divided by 5. We're gonna have 200 plus 180 multiplied to 4 over 5. This would give us 200 plus 180 po to ha. We're gonna have 720 divided by 5. This would give us 920 divided by 5. Our value is no other than 184. 184. Therefore, yung presyo ng kada cake, opo, di ba, we're gonna have 5 pieces of cake. Yung presyo po ng kada cake is no other than 184 pesos. That will be our value for the amount of money. Yun po yung f of x. Ito po yung value na na-obtain natin. Going back again to our rational function class, as you remember, ito po yung standard form natin. F of x is equal to p of x over q of x, where p of x and q of x are expressions or a value. But we're gonna consider a particular condition or restriction wherein si q of x daw po should not be equal to 0. Kasi if ever na ganun, function can be undefined. Ngayon class, we have 3 concepts. We have the rational function, alam niyo na kung ano po to, and we still have 2. So let us distinguish them. How are we going to differentiate rational function, rational equation, and then rational inequality? Ganito class, rational equation and rational inequality, opo, na-derive din po siya from rational function. It's just that may certain characteristics po sila. And ano po yun? So let's have first rational equation. So, rational equation class is a rational function. Si rational equation po, rational function din po siya whose value is equated to a value. Again, kaya nga po siya equation kasi we have to equate. Again, rational function is, rational equation rather, is a rational function whose value is equated to another value. We have here a particular condition. If si f of x daw is set to any value c, then f of x is equal to c, we're gonna have function becomes an equation. So take note class, p of x over q of x equals c. This is